Nri Kingdom in Awka was founded in about 900 AD in north-central Igboland and is considered the oldest kingdom in Nigeria. The kingdom is dated back to at least the 9th century and is almost as great as that of the Egyptians. It was highly significant at its peak as it was the center of learning, theocracy, commerce, and administration in pre-colonial West Africa, or what is present-day Nigeria. The Nri Kingdom is considered the roots of the Igbos, their culture, language, and beliefs. The Kingdom of Nri is known as the Oreze Nri in the Igbo language. It is a historical heritage of the Igbo people in Nigeria. Its capital then was Igbo Ukwu, and its official language is Igbo. It had its currency known as Ogbogo. It also introduced the cowrie currency as a medium of exchange and monetary value. Also generally believed and widely accepted that Nri was the founder of Nri. The origin of Nri, however, is vague. One theory goes that Nri was a divine being set by Chukwu, also known as God, to make peace, cleanse abominations, and provide food for the Igbo people. Thus, in this theory, he is descended from the sky. Another explanation of Nri's ancestry, however, was that Nri is the grandson of the biblical Jacob, and his father is Gad, the seventh son of Jacob. Nri was the high priest to the Pharaoh in Egypt. Before the scriptural marks exodus of the Israelites from Egypt, he sensed the impending onslaught of the Egyptians against the people of Israel, his people. As the Egyptians increasingly grew envious, Nri therefore left Egypt, crossed the river Nile and entered southern Sudan, from where he entered Chad. From Chad, he crossed the Benue River and came to Lokoja, then traversed the river Niger and came ashore near the confluence of the Ezu and Omambala River, where it was spiritually revealed to him that he was to settle. This location is present-day Aguleri in Anambra State, so Aguleri might have actually been the motherland of the Igbos. This notion even becomes increasingly bona fide when you consider that in Igboland, it is a well-known tradition that no man can break kola nut at a gathering when an Aguleri man is present. That honor is entitled to him. Another fact to bolster this claim is in most Igbo communities, before a king is coronated, he must fulfill an age-long tradition of visiting and paying homage to Aguleri with his entourage, where they spend compulsory 7 days visiting sacred places and making sacrifices to certain deities and shrines. Another pointer is the Ubuga temple that is situated in Aguleri, which was built by Nri in the honor of his father, God. Nri's first son, Nri Afikwanim, from the first wife, was a spiritual priest like his father. He left Aguleri and settled at a thick forest he called Aguku Nri, which is the present-day Nri Kingdom. Here, he engaged in hunting, farming, and also performed priestly duties and demonstrated his spiritual prowess, just as his father, Nri, did in Egypt, by cleansing of abominations, expert use of herbs and roots, and giving honorable titles to his subjects. When Nri Fikwanim Mary grew old and was nearing his end, it was not his wish to die outside of his ancestral home. Therefore, he instructed his children to take him back to present-day Aguleri. There, he eventually died and was buried. To present day, his gravesite is still marked and can be seen at Ukwu community and vivid village of the Aguleri. Oral history passed down from older generations in Aguleri tells of the magical springing up of 3 gigantic trees barricading the entrance of his grave. The trees are said to share a common root and are so enormous that to get a complete view, one has to go back many miles. The traditional Igbo believed that Nri had some form of very powerful spiritual knowledge or powers. This might have contributed to the discombobulation of his person with time after he passed on. The mystical ability he possessed might have aided to establish his character as he faded into time as some kind of supernatural, mystical being, hence the school of thought which relates that he was sent by God and came down from the sky. This could be that this was the basis as to why Nri Kingdom was such a revered kingdom spiritually by its subject. The kingdom had a booming economy as they held major trade routes and controlled the commerce in the area. The development and sophistication of these civilizations is evident in the bronze casting found in Igboland, an area of Nri influence. Since Nri Kingdom were against slavery, their power took a downturn when the slave trade was at its peak in the 18th century. Ritual scarification in Nri was known as Ichi, of which there are two styles, the Nri style and the Agbaja style. In the Nri style, the carved line ran from the center of the forehead down to the chin. A second line ran across the face, from which the right cheek to the left. This was repeated to obtain a pattern meant to imitate the rays of the sun. In the Agbaja style, color patterns are added to the initial incisions to represent the moon. These scarifications were given to the representatives of the Nri, the Mburichi. These scarifications were Nri's way of honoring the sun that they worshipped and was a form of ritual purification. Scarification had its origin in Nri mythology. Nri, the son of Eri, who established the town of Nri, was said to have pleaded to Chukwu, the great god, because of hunger. Chukwu then ordered him to cut off his first son's and daughter's head and plant them, creating a blood bond between the Igbo and the earth deity, Ana. Before doing so, Nri was ordered to mark Ichi onto their two foreheads. Cocoyam, a crop managed by females, sprang from his daughter's head, and Yam, Igbo people's staple crop, sprung from his son's head. Chukwu had taught Nri plant domestication. From these, the Nri first son and daughter were required to undergo scarification 7 days after birth, with the Nri's daughter being the only female to receive Ichi. Nri, the son of Eri, also gained knowledge of the yam medicine, also known as Ogoji. People from the Igbo communities made pilgrimages to Nri in order to receive this knowledge received in exchange for annual tributes. British colonialism and the advent of missionaries were the primary cause of the decline of the kingdom. The missionaries, through their teachings and Western education, injected European ideology into the Igbo society. Christianity was first rejected by the Igbos, but many locals later converted to Christianity. Once Christians, they were prevented in participating in the rituals usually associated with the kingdom. As Christianity grew stronger and traditional society broke down, in most Igbo lands the British introduced the foreign Eze concept. The British and other European states had a very frosty relationship with the kingdom, mostly because of their highly spiritual nature and staunch stance against slavery. Many slaves who mainly were kidnapped by the Aro Confederacy in the Bight of Biafra or Igboland have been referred to by the British slavers as very rebellious and having a high rate of suicide and escape attempts to slavery. In 1911, the British troops finally got the 15th Nri Obalike deposed. The Nri renounced his ritual power and left the kingdom. Some historians say the British achieved this by threatening to destroy Nri and all of his people unless Nri complied. To prevent genocide, the Nri left. Although another Nri was later crowned, the kingdom's influence and traditions have never remained the same. Inasmuch as the Nri Kingdom was a peaceful territory, they had a series of rules or things that were considered taboos. They were mainly in 7 categories: human, animal, behavioral, speech, temporal, place, and object. For example, giving birth to twins was a taboo and falls under the human type. Killing or eating of pythons was forbidden and was a taboo if it happened, and this falls under the animal category. Rules like these were how the kingdom exercised authority over all of the Igbo lands. Igbos scattered all over the world today, under different authorities or leadership, has a sense of duty to abide and obey the Nri doctrines and guidelines.